Prime Ticket.
We like Prime Ticket, don't we, Stevie?
Yeah,
Why?
because of the Lakers.
I like to watch Prime Ticket. The biggest thing is because they show the Lakers, the best, the world champion. Los Angeles Lakers can't nobody beat them, and Prime Ticket shows everything all the time.
I like all the action shots and the instant replays I see on Prime Ticket.
I like Prime Ticket because I can see all my local teams play.
Prime Ticket is the best simply because when you can't go, you can still see the ball game. My name is Robert Hastings from Santa Monica, and I love it. When I'm not there, Mom watches it.
I like Prime Ticket. I watch it on Group W Cable in San Bernardino. I love the Lakers games, the hockeys, and all of the college games. It's all right with me.
Covers everything. It's great.
One of the better television viewings that I've ever had.
They got all kinds of sports on it. It's fun to watch.
It's great. It really is.
See what they're all talking about. It's all on the Prime Ticket television network. Prime Ticket presents the Aloha All Star Classic. This preview of tonight's game is brought to you by Toyota, who has a full line of 1986 cars and trucks. More dependability, more quality, more satisfied owners. Who could ask for anything more?
From the Blaisdell Arena in Honolulu, Hawaii, it is the 18th annual Aloha Basketball Classic. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Leahy along with Artie Wilson. And tonight, 2 games will be coming your way on this, the final night of the 18th annual Aloha Basketball Classic. In the first game, the South against the West. These are the 2, quote, losing teams from last night, but they possess very good potential.
Well, Jim, in this type of tournament, you can play for 3rd place and it's still a meaningful ball game because these guys are out to play for a lot of pride and to impress these scouts. It doesn't matter that they're not playing for the championship. They want to win.
In the championship game tonight, we'll bring you the East against the Midwest. In the first game, the South against the West. When we return, we'll talk with the NBA Director of Scouting. And we'll do that right after these messages on Prime Ticket.
Introducing the 1986 front-wheel drive Family Camry from Toyota, the car that gives you more headroom than any other compact, and more hip room and legroom than many compact cars. That means the Family Camry has more room for a rock group or a group of rocks. The Town Council of Sleazac, Michigan, with the mayor's dog thrown in, 42 gas balloons, 2 sets of identical twins, plus a man named Murray. The Family Camry from Toyota.
Who can ask for anything more? Toyota.
Right now, all 32 Discount Tire stores are having a spring sale on Michelin because so much is riding on your tires. Now you can save up to 40% on Michelins. Discount Tire stores will not be undersold. Hurry, save up to 40% now at Discount Tire stores' spring sale. Discount Tire stores, we cut prices, not quality.
Back at the 18th annual Aloha Classic from the Neil S. Blaisdell Arena in Honolulu, Hawaii, I'm with Marty Blake, the Director of Scouting for the NBA. Marty, this format, this tournament, how does it help in the selection of the NBA and the drafting process?
This is the most important format for us because what it does, it brings together 32 of possibly the top 37 to 38 players in the country. And often, because of the proliferation of zone defenses, you really do not get a good opportunity to see players in a pro-style offense. Players are often put out of position by their coaches. Players are shielded by their coaches. And here you have the best playing against the best. It's often that you will see in one ball game maybe one great player, but it's rare that you will see this many great players playing in the type of offense that we use in the NBA. Actually, this is going back through the 18 years of the Classic. There's been some great, human interest stories here. Jack Sikma, who I recommended here many years ago, and people said Jack who is now one of the great scoring stars in the NBA, making $1.5 million. Last year we had Charlie Oakley and Porter, 2 small college players. Today you have Dennis Rodman. So I think this is probably our most important overall scouting tool.
The legacy of this tournament seems to be, like you said, the player who does not get the great publicity during his college years comes here maybe as a replacement player, gets off the plane, comes out onto the floor, and sets all kind of records. Nate Archibald, I think, is the greatest example.
Well, I don't think there's any secrets. We're a victim of provincialism. Let's face it, the people in Syracuse don't really get attuned to West Coast basketball. They don't know Keith Smith. They don't know Kevin Henderson. They don't know Anthony Jones. The people in Hawaii perhaps are not acclimated to Addison, even though the proliferation of television in the Big East. You know, there's been some comment this week about the players who don't show, like Billy Thompson and Wagner. And I'm disappointed that they didn't show, and I'm also disappointed because of their coaches. But they're not very highly rated players. We have here 18 of the possible 24 first-rounders.
Thanks for talking with us, Marty.
Thank you.
We'll be back right after these messages. Stick with us on Prime Ticket.
Who's ready to unchain the only gas turbo 4x4 truck in America? Who's ready to unleash pure horsepower and pulling power? Who's ready to beat up a mountain and muscle its way to the top? Toyota is who. The 1986 Toyota 4x4 Turbo with high-track independent front suspension for even more comfort. It's the who's who in 4x4s.
Who could ask for anything more? Toyota.
If you love great sports action, stay tuned. Because no one can brighten your sights and sounds like BASF Chrome. Even when you think it can't get any better than this, BASF Chrome will give you picture-perfect quality time after time after time. No matter how fast the action gets, we'll bring it to you as you've never seen or heard it before. Because no one can brighten your sights and sounds like BASF Chrome.
Continuing now with our pregame right here on Prime Ticket tonight, the 18th Annual Aloha Basketball Classic. With me now is Al Menendez, the Director of Player Personnel for the New Jersey Nets. You know, Al, very disappointing season.
Well, we've had a disappointing season because we've had a few injuries. We had that major problem with Michael Ray Richardson where he was banned from the NBA for drug use, and it's a sad case, and I just worried about, you know, Michael getting his life in order, forgetting about basketball. Darryl Dawkins has been injured, and he's missed most of the year, so we're struggling. We made the playoffs, but it's going to take a lot for us to advance this year.
What are you looking for from a tournament like this? Some of the players, the needs of the Nets.
We need a lot of things this year. I think we're at the point now that we've had a playoff team for 5 years, but it's time to maybe change the chemistry. So we probably need a player at every position. Ron Harper, to me, is by far the most talented player. He has a chance to become a star in the NBA. Maurice Martin is a very, very good player. He also has an outside chance to become a star. So to me, those two are the best players here. But when it's our turn to pick, and that'll be decided tomorrow in the final game of the season, we'll take the best player regardless of this position.
Al, when you look at the NBA now and you look at the proliferation of talent, is it tougher to make the NBA today than it's, say, 10 years ago?
Without a question. This is my 9th year in the NBA, and there are kids playing there today that I know I would have liked back then, but they have no shot at making a team now. And it's a case that the league keeps getting better and better. The high school kids keep getting better and better, and each year the talent level rises a couple of notches. So it's very difficult, but the European leagues are getting better also. So they're taking the players that normally would have played in the NBA. They're going to Europe now and play.
Good luck in the draft coming up. Good luck to the Nets next season.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Two players who will definitely be on the minds of the scouts. One of them, John Sally of Georgia Tech. John had 28 points and 9 rebounds. He was 9 for 9 from the field in last night's game for the South. Sally is a tremendous player, especially underneath. He can go to the hoop from all angles. He will no doubt key the South attack tonight. And for the West, out of Nevada, Las Vegas, Anthony Jones. He was the leading scorer last night for the West, 23 points, 7 rebounds. Anthony Jones can shoot from the outside. Anthony Jones can take the ball in down deep, and that, with his back to the baseline, is the double slam. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back with the starting lineups. First game tonight, the South against the West. The final night of the 18th Annual Aloha Basketball Classic right here on Prime Ticket.
Prime Ticket presents the Aloha All Star Classic. This preview of tonight's game has been brought to you by Toyota, who reminds you to get more. Who could ask for anything more? the NBA playoffs with the NBA World Champion Lakers. Here on Prime Ticket.
But Prime Ticket will follow us throughout the playoffs. If you can't make it to the Forum, I'll be looking for you right here on Prime Ticket.
Presenting the Prime Ticket Television Network, your showcase for the best sports action in Southern California.
Prime Ticket presents exciting collegiate sports action. Brought to you by Stroh's and Stroh Light. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here. By Discount Tire Stores, offering you quality tires and service at discount prices. By Great Western's family of companies with over $24 billion in assets and over 600 offices. Great Western is a new brand of banking. By Avis Rent-A-Car, with over 70 locations in Southern California and Las Vegas to serve you. Send Avis and SOS. And by Maxell, manufacturers of premium audio and videotape. Maxell, the tape for sophisticated equipment.
We're back at the Neil S. Blaisdell Arena in Honolulu, right before the start of the first game tonight between the South and the West. Let's go to public address announcer Keenan Gu.
Chevrolet Aloha Classic. This year's Classic is sponsored in conjunction with the Boys and Girls Club of Honolulu. Introducing the South All Stars. At guard 6'3", number 15 from San Diego State, Anthony Watson. At guard 6'5", number 21 from Jacksonville, Otis Smith. At forward 6'7", number 22 from Alabama, Buck Johnson. Guard 6'2", number 24 from Houston, Alvin Franklin. At forward 6'7", number 25 from Memphis State, Baskerville Holmes. Forward 6'9", number 31 from Southeastern Oklahoma, Dennis Rodman. At center 6'10", number 32 from Texas at Austin, John Brownlee. At center, 7 foot even, number 33 from Georgia Tech, John Sally. The head coach for the South All-Stars from Georgia Tech, Bobby Cremens. The assistant coach from Pearl City High School, Roy Ichenose. Introducing the West All-Stars at forward 6'6", number 11 from Oklahoma, Anthony Bowie. At guard 6'1", number 12 from Hawaii Pacific, Darrell Houston. At guard 6'4", number 21 from Cal State Fullerton, Kelvin Henderson. At forward 6'7", number 25 from Nevada, Las Vegas, Anthony Jones. At center 6'11", number 31 from Texas, El Paso, Dave Fido. At forward 6'10", number 32 from California, Irvine, Todd Murphy. At forward 6'9", number 33 from Montana, Larry Kristoviak. At forward 6'10", number 34 from California, Irvine, Johnny Rogers. The head coach for the West All-Stars from San Diego State, Smokey Gaines. The assistant coach from High School, Jerry Jocelyn.
Take a look at the referees. On the left is Larry Yamashita, in the middle Dan Woolridge, and on the right Joe Kerfoot. Yamashita is a Western Athletic Conference official. Joe Kerfoot also an official in that conference, and Dan Woolridge from the ACC. There are the starters for tonight. Baskerville Holmes of Memphis State, also Dennis Rodman, Sally, Smith, Watson. We'll introduce them to you as we go along. Rogers, Kristoviak out of Montana, Fidel of Texas El Paso, Jones of UNLV, Henderson of Cal State Fullerton. Tipping it off for the West will be Dave Feidel of UTEP. The West in gold and the South in the two-tone white and navy blue. John Sally of Georgia Tech, and we are underway. Kristoviak of Montana almost has the ball poked away by Watson of San Diego State. This is Henderson of Cal State Fullerton. Feidel from the free throw line, it drops for him, and it is 2-0 in favor of the West. Now, what hurt the West in last night's game was the lack of a point guard. We will see that as we go down here in that first half, as Darrell Houston has been added to the West roster. Rodman puts it up. Rodman is an NAIA All-America from Southeast Oklahoma. Here comes the West. Underhand layup does not go, and stepping on the baseline is Henderson of Cal State Fullerton. Will go back the other way, the South with the ball. Also, the South is operating with only 7 players tonight instead of 8. Buck Johnson of Alabama injured his back in last night's game and cannot play tonight. Ball rolls out of bounds. It'll be given to the South. So the South, Watson of San Diego State, Rodman of Southeast Oklahoma, Sally of Georgia Tech. Number 21 is Otis Smith of Jacksonville. They get the ball underneath. Fine assist. They get the ball underneath to Rodman. And it is 4-2 in favor of the South over the West. Jim Leahy along with Artie Wilson. Second night of competition in the 18th annual Aloha Basketball Classic from Honolulu. Kristoviak wants to muscle. He does.
Strong move by Kristoviak. Dennis Rodman has had a real good tournament so far. All week he's played well, and he's starting this ball game real strong for the South.
Rodman, that ball is underneath, and a fine shot by Otis Smith. Smith looped it up underhanded, and it is 6-4 in favor of the South. Henderson, Cal State Fullerton stumbles through the lane, and will go back the other way. The South will control. Just underway, 18:31 remaining to be played. First of 2 games coming your way tonight on Prime Ticket. Anthony Watson of San Diego State against Henderson of Cal State Fullerton. Out it goes to Otis Smith, Jacksonville. This is John Sally, Georgia Tech. And he's pawed at by Feidel as he goes to the hoop. Foul called on Feidel. First personal foul. First team foul on the West. At the line for the South is John Sally. Sally, 28 points last night. You take a look at it again. Feidel's foul. Sally was 9 for 9 from the field, 10 for 15 from the line. He had 9 rebounds, 3 assists.
And that was a very complete ball game. He did a lot of nice things defensively also. He has impressed, I'm sure, many, many scouts coming and playing against real strong competition. He did that all year in his regular season, but in this tournament and in the practice sessions, he's been very impressive.
John Sally hits. We mentioned also in last night's games, if you were not with us, that John Sally, 64% shooter through his career at Georgia Tech. Second shot doesn't go. It is 7-4 in favor of the South. West brings it back. Johnny Rogers, Cal Irvine. Yes, if he gets hot, he is almost uncanny in his shooting ability. Baskerville Holmes, Memphis State. The ball kicked out of bounds. There you see Johnny Rogers. Cal Irvine. Inbounding the ball will be Baskerville Holmes of Memphis State. Also into the game for the West, Anthony Jones. They fight for the rebound. Coming up with it is Feidel, UTEP. Long pass, Anthony Jones. Reverse layup is good.
Good body control by Anthony Jones. Good heads-up pass by Feidel.
John Sally to the hoop. He slammed. West trails the South now 9-8. West with the ball. Anthony Jones from far away. Yes, that's a three-pointer.
That's his third three-pointer in the tournament. He had 2 last night, and he's starting off tonight hitting a big three-pointer.
John Sally inside to Henderson in a crowd, and the ball climbs in. We are tied at 11.
And we're seeing that John Sally can definitely pass the ball. He may be a real strong power forward in the NBA.
Otis Smith made that last field goal. Smith was in traffic, and he put it in for the South. So Kristoviak goes out for Montana. The West now has Todd Murphy, number 32, in the gold uniform. This is Rogers, Cal Irvine. The ball poked away by Watson of San Diego State. So the West will continue possession. 17:02, 11-11. 17 minutes and 2 seconds remaining to be played in the first half.
Good pressure defense by Anthony Watson for the South. He created that turnover, and now the South will get the ball.
Here comes Anthony Watson. Watson is no stranger to this floor, playing at San Diego State in his career. Hawaii and San Diego State in the Western Athletic Conference. Whistle blows, and really getting tangled up is Murphy, along with Rodman.
Yes. Both were trying to establish position, and they got the foul against Dennis Rodman. You'll see both players. Yes, they're both trying to get position.
Finally, Rodman goes down. We're still tied at 11. This is Henderson from Cal State Fullerton, number 21 in gold. Johnny Rogers gets it into Dave Fido, backing in on John Sally, goes to the hoop. No, Sally cannot hold the rebound. They fight for it. And Rogers hits the deck, and they're going to give it to the South. So we are still tied at 11. This is, I guess that you can call it the consolation game. Championship game to follow between the Midwest and the East. East coming from behind in last night's game. Anthony Watson takes it down the middle and loses it. The ball rolls out of bounds, and they are going to give it to the South. Baskerville Holmes gets the ball into Watson. He pumps it up from 12 over Henderson and in. Watson, San Diego State. 13-11. That's rather confusing. Watson for San Diego State playing for the South, but that's the way the lineups are to try to get the balance needed. Feidel's right-hand hook does not go. They fight for the rebound. Rodman holds off Feidel. The ball goes out of bounds. They're going to give it to the South. Timeout has been called. We look at the scoreboard. 15:53 remaining to be played in the first half. The South 13 and the West 11. You're looking at the 18th Aloha Classic from Honolulu on Prime Ticket. Bobby Cremens, the coach of the South, coaching the West, is Smokey Gaines. As you look at Dan Woolridge, the official, there's Smokey. Smokey, of course, at San Diego State, and Bobby Cremens at Georgia Tech. Field goal stats, the South so far 86%, the West 71. Watson will bring it up court against Henderson. Otis Smith loses it, and it's stolen away by Anthony Jones, but his antics only have Otis Smith ending up with the ball again. They get it underneath to Rodman. He's really butchered underneath by Murphy. Misses the shot, complains about the call or non-call. Here's Henderson. He deals it up too strong off the glass. We go back the other way. Out in front is Watson. And he lays it in for the South.
Good pass by John Sally again. That's the third real fine pass in the first 5 minutes of the ball game by John Sally. He's showing that he can do more things than just score.
Watson now with 4 points. Ball kicked. The West will still control. Remember, the South has only 2 players on the bench, as Buck Johnson of Alabama injured his back and will be unable to play tonight. So that may be a factor as we get into the second half, the late stages of the game. Here's Otis Smith of Jacksonville. Lead pass to Watson of San Diego State. Up and tipped in. That could be basket interference. No call.
I don't know if he really touched the ball, Jim.
He may not have.
He moved his hand toward the basketball, but I'm not sure he even touched it.
Well, you got great eyes. You have great eyes. 17-11 now in favor of the South. Notice that Rodman keeps gesticulating with his right hand.
Yes, he has a good time with that right arm. Good inside position.
Henderson, you see Henderson's shot. And they all fight for the rebound. The foul is called on Feidel, reaching over the back of Rodman. Second personal foul on Feidel. Otis Smith of Jacksonville edging in on Anthony Jones of UNLV. This is Watson, San Diego State. 6 points now, rather check that, 8 points now for Watson of San Diego State.
And he seems to be playing a lot more loose tonight than he did last night. He's doing the things that we've seen him do before in the WAC plays.
Anthony Jones yet to get hot. Into the game now for the West is Anthony Bowie, number 11. He's out of Oklahoma. This is Anthony Jones. Todd Murphy, and Murphy is muscled out of there. Here comes the South. Baskerville Holmes to Otis Smith, to Rodman. His shot doesn't go. John Sally tumbles in.
Strong move by John Sally. He just goes real hard. He's like a hard-working man. He goes in, punches in, and does it all the time.
21-11 in favor of the South. The West has called a timeout. And we will, too. You are watching the Aloha Basketball Classic from the Blaisdell Arena in Honolulu, right here on Prime Ticket.
All 32 discount tire stores are having a spring sale on Michelin because so much is riding on your tires. Now you can save up to 40% on Michelins. Discount tire stores will not be undersold. Hurry, save up to 40% now at Discount Tire Stores Spring Sale. Discount Tire Stores, we cut prices, not quality.
Back at the Blaisdell Arena in Honolulu, first game of 2 coming your way tonight on Prime Ticket. You are watching the All-Star Tournament in college basketball, the 18th Aloha Classic. Kevin Henderson of Cal State Fullerton with the ball for the West. Anthony Jones, UNLV. To Todd Murphy, Cal Irvine. Murphy runs into Rodman. Rodman, who is an excellent actor. I mean, he has all kinds of antics on the court when the least contact is made. Called for the foul that time. Second personal foul and the second team foul on the South. Inbounding the ball is Murphy. Cal Irvine into his teammate, Johnny Rogers. Rogers also from Irvine. Outside it goes to Henderson. Henderson drops it off for Murphy. This is Anthony Jones, all net, and right in his face defensively that time was Otis Smith. 21-13. John Sally, he hits.
Yes, sir. John Sally comes back and answers the call. Anthony Jones has definitely shown he can shoot the ball from a long ways out.
John Sally, his stock is rising, no doubt. First round draft choice. Also, he's right in line for the all-tournament team. Rodman trying to muscle Murphy out of there, gets it to Rogers. He's deadly, and you can see why straight away. Rodman again hitting the floor. Rodman and Murphy are having a personal battle.
Yes, sir, buddy. They're going at each other inside. They're taking no prisoners.
Baskerville Holmes, all net from Memphis State. 25-15. The South leads now by 10. Henderson with the ball. This is Murphy straight away over Rodman. Yes.
Look for Rodman to try and post down low now to try and get a payback for Murphy.
Rodman gives him an elbow, gets the ball. He muscles up over Murphy. Won't go. Here comes the West. With the ball is Anthony Bowie, Oklahoma. Lead pass. Too far for Murphy to get to. Into the game for the South comes John Brownlee from the University of Texas. He will wear number 32. And Kristoviak from Montana checks back in for the West. Bobby Cremens over talking to Rodman. And he may say you got to lay off some of the rough stuff. We'll see. Watson gets the ball underneath to Otis Smith. What a pass by Anthony Watson.
Beautiful pass by Watson into Otis Smith. Just an excellent pass. He faked the bounce pass and threw it by the ear.
South leading the West by 10. Henderson pawed at by Watson. Loses the ball in the lane. Baskerville Holmes lead pass for Anthony Watson. He's all by himself. Kristoviak can't get back in time. And the South with another 2 points. 29-17. They lead by 12. 11:25 left to play in the first half. Murphy, he's against Sally now. Sally all over him. Murphy puts up the shot. No. Rebound, no, by Bowie. And here comes Watson again. 2-on-2. Watson dishes off. Otis Smith, Jacksonville, banks it in.
Good
31-17.
Jim, a real nice fast break by the South because they came down, the guys filled the lanes real hard, and they just gave the ball off to the short jumper.
Here comes the player they call the Maestro. Daryl Houston from Hawaii Pacific. First team NAIA All-America, number 12 for the West. He is out of Hawaii Pacific. Foul is called. It's going to be on John Sally. Right away, he's up with the hand. Daryl Houston, 6'1", 175-pounder. He is in this tournament because of the injury last night to Keith Smith. of Loyola Marymount. Smith broke his foot in the first half. So here is Darrell Houston getting a chance here in this tournament. Krzysztofiak, Montana to the hoop. Murphy, no. Brownlee of Texas on the rebound. Outlet pass goes to Baskerville Holmes of Memphis State. Holmes tried to feed cross court. Brownlee is injured. I think that went off one of his fingers. Here comes the West. Anthony Jones, spinning pass. Bowie, Oklahoma, off the front of the rim. Brownlee can't hold. Otis Smith, Jacksonville will slow it down. South in possession, and Brownlee still holding his hand. Brownlee at the high post. Baskerville Holmes by Bowie, down the lane, up, no. Leaping, good board clearing rebound by Krzysztofiak. Ball knocked away. It goes to Anthony Jones. This is Krzysztofiak. Goes by Brownlee, puts it up over Sally. Taking the ball down is Otis Smith of Jacksonville in traffic. Brings it over to the side. 31-17 in favor of the South over the West. Brownlee has the ball knocked away. Goes to Houston. One-on-one against Alvin Franklin. Houston to the hoop. Won't go. Tip up. Krzysztofiak, no. And the South brings it back in a hurry. Otis Smith. His shot doesn't go. A little ragged now. Here comes the maestro, Darrell Houston. Bowie gets it back out to Houston, and they'll set it up. Anthony Jones, UNLV. Murphy, he'll take it. He'll hit.
Murphy's had a good tournament, Jim. He played well last night, and he's playing real hard tonight for this team. He's been real effective, and can you imagine both he and Johnny Rogers on the same team playing the same conference?
Very potent offensive players. 31-19 in favor of the South. The 18th annual Aloha Classic from Honolulu on Prime Ticket. Back at the Neil S. Blaisdell Center, the center named after the mayor, late mayor of Honolulu. Whole complex here, the arena, concert hall, exhibition hall, and during the day, parking lot. Otis Smith. He'll take it to the hoop. Doesn't get it. Bowie on the rebound. He's from Oklahoma. Anthony Bowie to Anthony Jones. Zip.
Anthony Jones. Firmly convinced Anthony Jones would rather shoot a jumper than take it to the hole.
That's it. Sure.
31-21.
Hands up on him, man. That's it. Good. How long, Ralph? How long, Ralph?
Alvin Franklin gets the ball to number 25. That's Baskerville Holmes of Memphis State. 33-21 in favor of the South. Darrell Houston to Anthony Jones. Quick pass underneath to Krzysztofiak of Montana. And he is fouled by Brownlee of Texas. The injury to Brownlee only temporary. He is back at 100%. So Krzysztofiak, who had 15 points in last night's game, you can see him try to muscle here, and he draws a crowd. Krzysztofiak was 5 for 8 from the floor, 5 for 6 from the line.
Line number 33, Larry Krzysztofiak.
Krzysztofiak, 6'9", 245. Transfer, rather, excuse me, you had an average of 21.8, 10.9 rebounds, 7th in the nation. Big Sky MVP for 3 years. 33-23. Anthony Watson, San Diego State, has the ball pumped away by Darrell Houston, rolls into the backcourt. They're going to give it to the South. Eight minutes and 16 seconds to play in the first half. You look at Bobby Kremen. And he did not go out and buy an Aloha shirt. We thought he would last night. Watson misses from the corner. Here comes the West. This is Houston in a crowd. Good pass to Anthony Jones. No. Jones gets the rebound. Ball poked away by Watson. Watson playing himself a game, Artie.
Watson is. He's playing real well, but that was a fine pass by Darrell Houston from HPC, Hawaii Pacific College. He is a definite point guard. He handles the ball real well.
Anthony Jones puts that ball up over Alvin Franklin. Franklin from the University of Houston. Here comes the South. This is Watson. Watson almost loses the ball. Houston in front of him. Back out to Baskerville Holmes of Memphis State over Anthony Bowie of Oklahoma. Krzysztofiak of Montana with the rebound stolen away by Baskerville Holmes. Muscle, no. Watson trying for it. Krzysztofiak takes it back. 6'9", 245. Great determination by Kristoviak that time from the University of Montana out of the Big Sky.
Well, Kristoviak has a definite NBA type body. He has that real thick body where he can take a beating, he can give a beating.
You're looking at Dave Feidel from UTEP back into the game for the West. Feidel replacing Anthony Jones. Also going out is Darrell Houston. And Henderson from Cal State Fullerton back into the game for the West. 7:28 remaining to be played in the first half. First game of two coming your way. This is the consolation game of the 18th Aloha Basketball Classic from Honolulu. Jim Leahy along with Artie Wilson courtside. Feidel loses the ball, goes to Watson, San Diego State. 2-on-1 to Rodman. He slammed.
Dennis
Rodman is quick, and he was airborne for quite a while.
He is very quick, and he is having fun playing this game. He is really enjoying playing out here.
Feidel and Rodman start to go at it now. This is Kristoviak. Banker is too strong, and they're starting to paw at the basket. Here comes Watson again. Watson's shot goes in. Anthony Watson now with 12. Watson leads all scorers for the South. Henderson of Fullerton State brings it back for the West. Takes it down deep, puts it up, no good. Rodman punches it to the side. It goes to Watson. Brownlee of Texas had to change his shot. He was bothered by Kristoviak of Montana. Feidel gets it to Henderson. Here comes the West. Anthony Bowie doesn't get it. Henderson does. 37-25 in favor of the South over the West. South continuing to hold on to that lead. 6:06 left to play in the first half. Watson dancing down the middle, loses the ball, gets it back. Feeds back out now to Rodman, double team. Finally, Alvin Franklin of Houston puts up a shot, but it doesn't go for him, and the West will bring it back. Henderson, what a pass! Up and in by Bowie.
Super pass. A really nice pass. He threw the bounce pass. He threaded the needle. Last night, Kevin Henderson threw a couple real nice passes, and that was another fine pass by him.
5:40 left. 37-27. The West has cut the lead to 10. Get the ball in to Rodman. And again, with that right hand gesticulating in the air. He is tough. 39-27.
I wonder, did he do that all season long?
He had to. Yes. It's one of his trademarks. Feidel and Rodman really having a battle. Rodman gets the ball. Watson back to Baskerville Holmes. Holmes to Brownlee, stolen away by Kristoviak. He's against Rodman. This is Henderson over Rodman. Rodman takes the charge, no call. We'll go the other way. Boy, I'll tell you.
Referees are giving the defensive man no mercy there.
Rodman is even helped up by the referee.
Yeah, he said, look, you didn't give me the call, at least help me up. What a great bounce pass, huh?
Oh, excellent. 39-27, the South. Anthony Watson of San Diego State with the ball. South leading the West. He pumps it up. Hits. Watson is having a brilliant game here in the first half. 14 points now for Anthony Watson. Kevin Henderson, Dave Feidel, UTEP. His baseline shot is in, and it's 41-29. 4 points now for Feidel. In fact, the West has no players in double figures. In fact, the only man in double figures is Anthony Watson. Franklin gets it back from Sally. His shot from the corner, no. And the ball erupts over the backboard, and we'll go back the other way. The West will control. 4:22 remaining to be played in the first half. First game of the Aloha Classic coming your way tonight on Prime Ticket. Johnny Rogers has the ball blocked by Sally. Sally got a piece of it to Watson. Watson against Henderson. Around the perimeter, Watson ends up with it on the wing. Out in front, it goes to Alvin Franklin of Houston. Anthony Watson. Rodman, quick pass. Sally, whistle blows.
Going through the half-court line there. The free throw line, they keep on going up.
Basket's good. You see Sally get the ball, and goes down, gets pushed by Johnny Rogers, and he still has strength to take it to the hole. The
South is showing good patience in running their offense. You saw them take a little time off the clock. It's only 24 seconds to get the shot, but no one tried to force it. They're looking like a real fine team. I'm sure Coach Crimmins talked with them after last night's ball game and said, these are things that you must do, and they're doing it.
Free throw went in, but they said basket interference, no. So 43-29 in favor of the South over the West. Bobby Crimmins. He's had a good time this week in Hawaii. Johnny Rogers, out it goes to Krzysztofiak, whistle blows. All of a sudden, the officials start to tighten up the game.
Well, see, they let you bang once or twice, and they'll tell you, watch your hands, stop bumping, and then if you don't listen, if you go with the deaf ear, they'll blow the whistle on you.
I think they've said
you
can bump 15 times, but after that.
Not the 16th. Rodman still hadn't caught it. He's still out there. He's going to bump before ball's inbounds.
Timeout has been called. 3:36 remaining. The South 43, the West 29 in a game which is played at their own risk. You're watching the Aloha Classic on Prime Ticket. Began play with 3 minutes 36 seconds remaining in the first half. The South 43 and the West now 31 as Dave Feitl banks it in. 6 points now for Dave Feitl of UTEP. The South with the ball. Brownlee of Texas, John Sally, Georgia Tech, brings it back down the middle, deals it up and in.
Hey, let me tell you, buddy, he showed he was a finesse player then because he got on a run and he got to lay in real nice. John Sally, he's going for all tournament, Jim.
He had 28 points last night. He has 11 tonight. Krzysztofiak with the ball on the wing against Sally. Can't take the shot. Sally slaps it away.
Now, do you think it hurt John Sally to come to Honolulu and participate in this All-Star game?
Not at all.
Not at all.
I think his stock has risen measurably. Talking to some of the scouts, he is almost penciled in now for a first-round choice. Shot is up and in by Feitl. Off balance in the lane, but the big guy still gets it to drop. John Sally with the ball for the South. 45-33, the South leads by 12. Brownlee, Texas. Feitl with the rebound. Looks at the Krzysztofiak. They won't catch him. Double slam. Foul is called. It's going to be an Otis.
You're not going to grab Krzysztofiak with one arm and try and stop him, as we'll watch right here. No, you don't go and touch him lightly.
No, Otis Smith needed a subpoena that time. Krzysztofiak is at the line. Krzysztofiak, 6 points. He's 2 for 2 from the line. Puts it up and doesn't go. Sally knocks down Rogers, gets the rebound. Here comes Alvin Franklin of Houston to John Sally underneath Rodman, Southeast Oklahoma.
Good pass by Sally, good jam by Rodman, and Rodman started throwing his right arm. He threw it before he came down that time, Jim.
10 points now for Rodman. Dennis Rodman and the South with another rebound. Otis Smith ahead to Sally. Back to Smith. Won't drop for him. They fight for it. Finally coming up with it is Feitl of UTEP. Here comes the West. His pass ahead of Krzysztofiak. And the South. Brownlee ends up with it. We try to go back the other way. Finally, they loop it to Otis Smith, to John Sally of Georgia Tech. Brownlee of Texas against Krzysztofiak. John Sally. And a foul is called. It's going to be on Johnny Rogers. So Rogers struggling, his second personal foul. Anthony Jones gets up off the bench for the West End, inserted into the game. And Krzysztofiak will leave. Todd Murphy comes back into the game.
Number 32, Todd Murphy.
So Murphy and Rodman will probably go at each other. They have been more than just cozy in this game.
Well, see, the thing about big guys is they always want to establish that they're tough inside. You get in the paint, they start acting a little different.
Baskerville Holmes also into the game. Brownlee, the ball is knocked away by Murphy, and in point at the ball, he fouls Brownlee. On Murphy, that is his first personal foul. fifth team foul on the West, so the South will play the ball in on the baseline. This tournament is a combination of NBA rules and also college rules. They will play the 20-minute college halves. They will use the college lane instead of the NBA lane. Shot is up by Franklin of Houston and in.
Alvin Franklin.
49-35 in favor of the South. First 2 points of the game for Franklin. They will also use the 24-second shot clock, not the 45-second college shot clock. Bowie misses. Murphy trying for it. Ball still moving. Comes out to Bowie of Oklahoma. Pass underneath to Anthony Jones. Misses. And the South ends up with it. Baskerville Holmes of Memphis State. Franklin of Houston. He'll pump again. And Rodman.
Dennis Rodman.
Followed by Dennis Rodman.
What a story on Rodman. He never played basketball in high school, and when he graduated from high school, he was 5'11". He is now 6'9", 4 years later. Franklin. Double pumping in. And Rodman still punching the air.
Does he enjoy the game?
Yes, he does, but don't get around him.
Yes, when something positive happens for his team, do not get anywhere near that right arm. You'll see that shot go in, and watch Rodman right in the middle there. Boom, yes. Right arm goes. One of these days, he may throw it so hard. If he ever wins a national championship in the NBA, he may throw the arm out.
I'm afraid he might hit one of the NBA officials, and he's in big trouble. 54-35 in favor of the South. 31 seconds remaining in the half. Fido puts it up, doesn't go. Rodman tries for a rebound and gets it back again to Brownlee. He's going to be challenged by Henderson of Fullerton State. He gives it up to Otis Smith of Jacksonville. The ball knocked away. Smith gets it back. South still controls. This is Brownlee. He's posted up against Murphy. Baskerville Holmes over Anthony Jones and in.
Baskerville Holmes.
8-7, 6 seconds left. 56-35 in favor of the South. Muscle by Anthony Jones. No. Rodman cradling the ball. And that is the end of the first half. The South dominating the West 56-35. And the fans here at the Blaisdell Arena with an appreciative round of applause for the effort by these players. They really go 100%. It is halftime in the first game from the 18th Aloha Classic, 56-35 South. You are watching Prime Ticket. 6-35 at halftime. I am at courtside with Derek Smith of the Los Angeles Clippers. You've had a bit of bad luck this year. You haven't been able to be on the court too often.
No, not at all. I went down in early November and hurt my knee and had knee surgery, and I never had an opportunity to get back.
You played in this tournament, what, 4 years ago?
4 years ago.
That was an outstanding tournament. Tell me some of the players that were in that tournament that are now in the NBA.
It was a good tournament. The outstanding player in that tournament was Eddie Phillips, who is no longer in the NBA. But you find out that a lot of guys who went into some of the later rounds, like myself, I was a second-round draft pick. And we have guys like Terry Teagle, Ricky Pierce. We had a pretty good class. I think we probably, a lot of the guys that played then are still in the league now.
Did the tournament help you as far as the draft was concerned, your play in the tournament?
No doubt it did. When I came over here, a lot of people said I would probably go in the third round, and they didn't know what I could and could not do at the time. It gave me an opportunity to show some of the NBA people that I could play out onto the floor. It was the first time in my career that I had an opportunity to shoot the basketball anywhere besides in the paint, and it helped me because that's a big question mark. And a lot of these guys' game when they come over here haven't played in their college system. They play in the paint and they play out of position a lot of times, and it gives them an opportunity to show that they can play other positions.
What about the Clippers, a struggling team? They seem to be the other team in town. That's how they're perceived in the Los Angeles area. That's not exactly fair, is it?
Well, we've had a tough time being in Los Angeles because we have not yet got it together. We won 31 basketball games last year, and we're right around that same mark this year. And to be able to compete in Los Angeles, we're going to have to do a lot better because the Lakers are the best team in basketball, and the people expect nothing but good things because they're used to seeing the best. And in order for us to get the respect that we're due, we're going to have to put wins on the board.
Stick with us, Derek. We'll be back right after we pause for these messages. 56-35. Turn will continue with our discussion with Derek Smith of the Los Angeles Clippers. 56-35, the South over the West. We're talking to Derek Smith of the Los Angeles Clippers. Derek, you're from a great winning combination now. You were on the championship team at Louisville in 1980, and now you are playing in the National Basketball Association. Your alma mater has just been able to win another national championship at Louisville. You've got to be very proud of that.
No, most definitely. I'm very pleased because we have great tradition at the University of Louisville. Only thing I'm not pleased with the fact that they had to go and win a national championship right away and make the 1980 basketball team forgotten. But it's great for the program. It's great for the guys that are still there. And I expect to see them right back there again next year because they have a lot of youth on that team and a lot of talent to go along with that.
Well, thank you for talking with us. Best of luck to you. May you have a great season next year with the Clippers, and may the Clippers' fortunes improve.
Thank you very much, Jim.
We've been talking to Derek Smith of the Los Angeles Clippers. We'll continue our coverage of the 18th Annual Aloha Basketball Classic right here on Prime Ticket. To Derek Smith of the Los Angeles Clippers. Derek, you're from a great winning combination now. You were on the championship team at Louisville in 1980, and now you are playing in the National Basketball Association. Your alma mater has just been able to win another national championship at Louisville. You've got to be very proud of that.
No, most definitely. I'm very pleased because we have great tradition at the University of Louisville. Only thing I'm not pleased with the fact that they had to go and win a national championship right away and make the 1980 basketball team forgotten. But it's great for the program. It's great for the guys that are still there. And I expect to see them right back there again next year because they have a lot of youth on that team and a lot of talent to go along with that.
Well, thank you for talking with us. Best of luck to you. May you have a great season next year with the Clippers, and may the Clippers' fortunes improve.
Thank you very much, Jim.
We've been talking to Derek Smith of the Los Angeles Clippers. We'll continue our coverage of the 18th Annual Aloha Basketball Classic right here on Prime Ticket. Halftime stats for the South in field goals, 63% for the South, only 39% for the West, 16 for 41. Free throws exactly even. In rebounds, the South with 22, the West with 19, and in turnovers, the West with 10, and the South with 5.
Interesting to note that in the first half, only 3 free throws were shot by each team.
Leading scorer in the first half for the South was Anthony Watson. He had 14 points. You can see some of his performance there. And Anthony Jones of UNLV was the high point man for the West. He was not in double figures, but he was able to score 9. So we begin the second half. The South in the two-tone navy blue and white, and the West in gold. South leading 56-35. And Rodman, rather, excuse me, not Rodman, but Otis Smith. Otis Smith of Jacksonville doesn't waste any time, but it's now 58-35. He has 10 points. Dave Feidel, UTEP, number 31. Johnny Rogers, Cal Irvine, number 34. Kristoviak, Montana, number 33, gets the hoop. 58-37. 8 points now for Kristoviak. Alvin Franklin, number 24 from the University of Houston. His shot comes off, and it goes to Kristoviak of Montana. To Kevin Henderson of Fullerton State. His pass is intercepted by John Sally. We go back the other way. Baskerville Holmes, Franklin deals it up, and it comes back out again. This is Henderson, 3-on-2, Henderson in the middle. Left side, Johnny Rogers bumps, and an offensive foul called on Johnny Rogers. No basket. Well, we'll see.
Good defensive position. You'll see Sally's already in position. Johnny Rogers just goes up and charges.
Number 34, Johnny Rogers, his third team.
58-37. Johnny Rogers, leading scorer for Cal Irvine, having his troubles here in this game. So the South will bring it back. Alvin Franklin out of Houston. This is Rodman out of Southeast Oklahoma. Otis Smith, number 21, out of Jacksonville. Rodman. Finally, Baskerville Holmes misses everything. Long pass, Henderson to Anthony Jones. He cannot hold it off his fingertips. And out of bounds, 58-37. The South leading the West. The South will bring it back. Alvin Franklin. Rodman all the way, and he cannot come up with it. Sally tries, and he is fouled by Feudal. Dave Feudal of UTEP picking up a foul. 18:22 remaining to be played in the game, and the South cruising 58-37. Third personal foul on Dave Feudal out of UTEP, and John Sally is at the line. Bobby Cremens, his coach, out of Georgia Tech. Sally 7 feet even, 230-pounder. Averaged 12.5 points in his 4 years. 57% shooter from the floor. All Atlantic Coast Conference the last 2 years. And a candidate for both the John Wooden and the Naismith Awards. 60-37. South out in front of the West. West with the ball. Henderson, Fullerton State. Henderson shot. Goes off. And they're going to let the South keep it.
I think it's the West. They're going to take the ball.
They're going to let the West keep it. You're right. Went off of John Sally. Johnny Rogers cannot take the shot. Dave Feudal will on the screen by Rogers. Kristoviak, he is tough.
I think Kristoviak is another guy who has helped his stock in the upcoming draft because he's played real strong and he's shown he can play that power game.
John Sally. What a touch. 62-39. Sally now with 15. He now leads the South in scoring. Anthony Watson has 14. Otis Smith with 10. Also, Dennis Rodman with 12. Good balanced scoring on the South. West continues to struggle in this game. Anthony Jones. He'll pump it up in desperation. No, Rodman with the rebound. He wants to run. High steps into the attacking zone. Lead pass to Otis Smith. He tries to slam, and a foul is called.
That was quite an attempt by Otis Smith, but he went down and he tried to jam it from a long way out. You see the pass by Rodman. Now he goes up, he takes off, and he's just challenging Rogers. He has no respect for him.
62-39. Murphy into the game now. Todd Murphy. They have Murphy on Sally now in the second half. Turnover. Kristoviak gives it to Henderson. Ahead to Rogers. He goes to the, loses the ball. Otis Smith runs into Kristoviak, and he'll call a foul on the big Montana player.
Personal foul number 33, Larry Kristoviak.
Kristoviak actually linebackered Otis Smith that time. I mean, he hit him coming up the middle of the lane.
Well, he played the inside backer right then.
17:03 remaining to be played in this game. Another game to follow here on Prime Ticket. Sally gets it to Rodman, backing in on Kristoviak. Right-hand hook doesn't go. Rogers steps on the baseline. And the South will keep the ball.
It seems that nothing can go well for the West. They're having some real problems out there.
Ball inbounded to John Sally in the corner. It goes to Baskerville Holmes. They work the perimeter. Otis Smith finally puts it up from far away. And Kristoviak watches it go out of bounds for the West. And now the West will control. Henderson, Cal State Fullerton, into the attacking zone. He is against number 24, Alvin Franklin of Houston. This is Todd Murphy with the ball. Kristoviak from the top of the key. Try for the rebound. And Baskerville Holmes on his back gets the ball to Alvin Franklin. They work it to Rodman in the corner. Baseline drive. Kristoviak cuts him off. Sally, Georgia Tech. Franklin, Houston. Otis Smith, Jacksonville. Rodman off his knee and out of bounds will go back the other way. The West will control.
Interesting to note how Rodman will run up and down the floor. He's an exciting ball player. He's a really emotional ball player. And I just like to see him move up and down the floor. I like a dark horse, a sleeper, somebody to come in this tournament, not known by a lot of people, but come in and play as well as he's been playing all week.
Timeout has been called. We look at the scoreboard. 15:58 remaining to be played in the game. The South 62 and the West 39. You are watching the 18th Aloha Basketball Classic right here on Prime Ticket. Tip game tonight on Prime Ticket will feature the East against the Midwest. And that will come up immediately following this game between the West and the South. Bobby Cremins has his team well in control, and they are definitely on the cruise right here. 62-39. South over the West. West with the ball. They work the perimeter. Henderson will give it to Johnny Rogers. To Murphy. Fall away over Baskerville. Holmes doesn't go, and coming out with it is Rodman. Rodman to Holmes of Memphis State. Into Rodman. Muscle. And he challenged the big trees underneath. Hit some of the branches. What a story on Rodman. Never played basketball in high school. He was only 5'11" when he graduated from high school. He is now 6'9". Talk about a case of arrested development as far as height is concerned. Foul is called underneath. 62-39, and he is such a gregarious personality on the court. Not only off the court with the way that he talks to everybody, but his play, his antics, his physicalness. Kristoviak of Montana at the line for the West. (62-40). So the South still with a very healthy lead.
If the West is going to make a move, now it's the time for them to make their move. They need to start playing real tough defense and get back in the ball game.
Ball hit to the side. Darrell Houston, who is put into the lineup for the West, does not look too happy sitting on the bench. Shot is up by Johnny Rogers from the corner. You give Rogers a fraction of a second to set up, and he drills it. But he has not even been given that tonight. 20-point difference now in the game. The South leading 62-42. South with the ball. John Sally. Ball away in the lane, yes.
He works real hard to get his shots off. He won't force things, but when you give him an inch, he'll take it.
17 points now for John Sally. Anthony Jones, UNLV with the ball. Looking for Rogers, checks off, gives it to Henderson. Henderson back to Anthony Jones, puts it up over Otis Smith. Ball comes off to Baskerville Holmes of Memphis State. South running again. Sally, boy, what a dance he did. Shot doesn't go, still tries for it. Otis Smith chases it into the corner. Ball comes off to Henderson of Cal State Fullerton. Henderson has the ball poked away, but it goes to Anthony Jones, UNLV. Baseline drive, loops it out to Rogers. They leave him alone. He drills it. That is an example of Johnny Rogers. You give him space, he'll eat you alive with that shot from the outside. 64-44, still a 20-point difference in this game. Alvin Franklin, Sally, this is Rodman. Finally, 3-second violation is called.
Lane violation.
I believe it's on Sally.
The owner of a Ford license plate number
14 minutes remaining in this game. Remember, another game to follow. That's the championship game. And we invite you at home with us right here that if you were drafting these players, if you were in the NBA, shot is finally muscled up by Todd Murphy. If you were having the draft, who would you draft out of these players? Who would be number one? Who would be number two?
Before the night's over, Mr. Leahy, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you if you're going to put together a team. Give me the top 2 or 3 guys you would like to have on your team. So, sometime during that championship game, we'll have to pick our 5 players or our 3 players to start a franchise, and we'll do it with your money.
Rodman, we wouldn't get very far, would we? 64-46. Henderson responds at the other end for the West. They fight for the rebound. Rodman comes up with it. He high steps again into the attacking zone. Gives it to Baskerville Holmes. It will tumble in. What a touch by Baskerville Holmes. 66-46. And Brownlee of Texas steals the ball, but he cannot hold on. It goes out of bounds. to the West. Todd Murphy will inbound for the West. And finally, Daryl Houston gets up off the bench, comes in. Comes in for Henderson with 13:06 remaining to be played in the game. Houston, as we mentioned at the outset, playing tonight because of the injury to Keith Smith of Loyola Marymount. He broke his foot last night. Shot is up and not good by, out of UNLV, Anthony Jones. South running again. What a shot by Otis Smith of Jacksonville.
Boy, he sure did glide through there real nice and had the ability to shoot it softly off the glass.
Houston gives it up for Rogers. His shot, yes.
Johnny Rogers.
Johnny Rogers, 68-48. He's out of Cal Irvine. Baskerville Holmes, Memphis State. 70-48 in favor of the South. West brings it back in a hurry. Daryl Houston, HPC, Hawaii Pacific. His shot blocked, gets it back, dances down the lane, puts it up again, in and out. Todd Murphy doesn't drop for him. Finally, Rodman ahead to Otis Smith. Baskerville Holmes blocked by Anthony Jones, UNLV. Daryl Houston, Steve Rogers.
Johnny.
Check that. I said Steve. Johnny Rogers. Johnny Rogers. 12 points now for Johnny Rogers of Cal Irvine. 11:52 left to play in the game. Rogers now, as we said, with 12 points and the ball knocked away.
Still a 20-point ball game, Jim, 70-50, and the West has got to do the job defensively if they're ever going to get back in the game.
Well, the West has had trouble all game long. The South continues to dominate here in this first game on Prime Ticket. They lead by 20. Second half field goal stats between the South and the West. The South 6 for 20, 30%. The West 7 for 19, 37%. But still 70-50, a 20-point difference in this game. Daryl Houston brings it back to the West. The West in gold and the South in two-tone navy blue and white. Houston,
yes,
good
sir.
move over Anthony Watson.
Good little baseline move by Daryl.
We've not seen too much of Anthony Watson here in the second half. Stolen by Daryl Houston, HPC. Lead pass, UNLV, Anthony Jones.
Good
Great
lead
assist.
pass by Daryl Houston. Good run by Anthony Jones. Nice lay-in.
70-54, 11 points now for Anthony Jones. That's his first field goal of the second half.
And the West needs another good defensive series right here.
West needs to make a run. Baskerville home shot, not good. Anthony Jones with the ball, filling the lane. Todd Murphy, Cal Irvine. Yes, that's 6 in a row now for the West.
6 unanswered points. It's a 14-point ball game.
Timeout, South All Stars.
And timeout has been called by the South. It's so long, and he wants to take away the momentum of the West. We'll be back. 70-56, you're looking at Smokey Gaines, the coach of the West, out of San Diego State, formerly University of Detroit. And before that, Smokey performed 4 years with the Harlem Globetrotters.
And I'm sure he had a lot of fun playing basketball in all the years he's been involved in this game.
Globetrotters also recruit, you know.
Oh, yeah. He's Mr. Debonair. Smoke likes to dress also.
70-56 in favor of the South over the West. Anthony Watson, San Diego State against Daryl Houston, Hawaii Pacific. Watson will bring the ball into the attacking zone. And he gives it up for Otis Smith of Jacksonville. He is posted up on the outside against Anthony Jones, UNLV. Watson leans in and gets the banker over Houston. And it is 72-56. Todd Murphy answers back. He had to go through a gauntlet to get to the basket. But he's able to drop it through.
2 or 3 guys got Murphy, and he still was able to put it off the glass and drop it in. The West looks like a different ball club. We'll see Murphy going up. He gets hit by a couple guys, was able to complete the basket, will get a 3-point opportunity. And the West has plenty of time with 10 minutes and 19 seconds to go to really come back and make a ball game out of this.
Murphy had 12 points in last night's game. He was 2 for 7 from the floor, 8 for 10 from the line. Had 9 rebounds, 72-58. Here comes the South. Anthony Watson with the ball. Watson leans in, puts it up, doesn't get it. Foul is called.
Foul's going to be on Daryl Houston. Anthony Watson has had a real fine ball game tonight. Last night, I think he played a little tight. I don't think he was as loose and fluid as he is normally, but tonight he's come out and he's been a real difference out there for the South team.
Watson puts it up and drops it through. 17 points now for Anthony Watson. Watson averaged 15 points in 4 years at San Diego State, 4.8 rebounds a game, 72% shooter from the free throw line. 74-58, the South over the West. 10:06 left. Johnny Rogers deals the ball back out to Anthony Bowie, Oklahoma. John Brownlee of Texas with the rebound. Long pass, Otis Smith. Reverse jam. Well, that got the crowd back into it a little bit. 76-58. Favor of the South. Rogers rattles in. The basket will count. And Johnny Rogers will go to the line. Johnny Rogers' shooting technique is superb.
Johnny Rogers is the type of 6'10", 6'11" guy that likes to play outside a little bit more than inside. He didn't want to be in the paint too much. He liked to face the basket, shoot that little 12, 14-foot jumper all night long.
Rogers started his college career at Stanford University, ended up at Cal Irvine. He was Pac-10 Freshman of the Year at Stanford. Then he transferred to University of California, Irvine. 76-61 in favor of the South. Anthony Watson, San Diego State. He has the ball. Brownlee, John Brownlee of Texas. Rodman, what a shot, won't go.
And Rodman will talk to himself. He gets the ball. I mean, he's going to talk to himself all the way to the free throw line.
Interesting contrast between Rodman of the South, who talks to himself, and who we will see in the next game. Scott Skiles of the Midwest, who talks to everybody all the time.
Or no one, depending on the mood.
77-61. 9:21 left. Interesting, one of the wags here of the arena said, I wonder what Scott Skiles has for breakfast every day. No one is that mad. 9:16 left, 78-61 in favor of the South. The West with the ball. Anthony Jones has the ball pawed away, gets it back, gives it to Darrell Houston. Foul is called. Getting up slowly. That's Otis Smith of Jacksonville.
Otis Smith, his third
personal foul on Otis Smith. They get 6 fouls in this game. Another example of the dichotomy of rules present in this tournament between the NBA and the NCAA or the NAIA. Darrell Houston, double team, still controls the ball. Brings it out to Anthony Jones, UNLV. He puts it up from the free throw line. The ball hit to the side. Jones and Watson. Watson really gave Darrell Houston and Watson really gave him an elbow. Houston looking back. So Watson will be picked up by Houston as he comes over the line. Alley-oop. And you know who hit the bottom of the backboard that time? It was Otis Smith. A steal, Sally. Smith went up for the alley-oop and hit his head on the bottom of the backboard. 80-61 in favor of the South. Sally now with 19 points in this game. Houston against Watson. Houston loses the ball. Foul is called in the dribble drive, and they'll call the foul on Watson out of San Diego State.
And Darrell Houston will go to the line. Darrell was one of the best free throw shooters in the nation this past year, shooting about 90%. I think he was number 1 and number 2 in the entire NAIA.
Rogers goes out, Murphy goes out, Krastoviak comes back in. There you see Otis Smith right there, hits his head on the rim going after the alley-oop. That's amazing. Krastoviak gets it by Brownlee, loops it in right-handed. Another power move by Krastoviak. 80-63, 8 minutes left. Krastoviak punches the ball back outside. It goes to Watson. Watson, great pass to Rodman. Rather, check that, not Rodman, but Otis Smith. I'm looking through players here on the press side. And Smith will go to the line. A foul is called on Krastoviak. So Henderson comes into the game now, and he comes in for Darrell Houston. Houston gets a smattering of applause. Polite.
I think
but nonetheless, applause.
He did a nice job.
Yes, he did.
And I think we need to correct something there. Otis Smith did not hit his head on the rim.
No, what did I say? Rim? I said bottom of the backboard.
Okay, second time around we said rim. It was the backboard, and thank goodness they have cushions under that, because that man would have been really hurt if there hadn't been that cushion underneath.
Bottom of the backboard, yes. There is a foam rubber strip that protects the players on the bottom. Stobiak has the ball blocked by Brownlee, and it goes out of bounds.
South All Stars, number 24.
Alvin Franklin checks into the game now for the South. 82-63 in favor of the South over the West. South has never really been challenged at all in this game.
The West made a run about 2 minutes ago and got to within, I think, 14 points, and then all of a sudden the South just answered the challenge.
John Sally, Georgia Tech, overplayed by Bowie of Oklahoma, gets it into Baskerville Holmes. And 3-second violation is called, and we'll go back to 26 left to play here in this game. The championship game to follow, the Midwest against the East. Last tie in this game was ages ago, it seems. Both teams were tied at 11. Since then, it's been all South. Alley-oop, Sally misses it. West, rather the South can have some fun. The West with the ball. They've got to put it up. Grostoviak. And Grostoviak gets mugged by Sally.
And who hits the ground?
Sally.
Personal foul number 33, John Sally, his third.
So Grostoviak will be at the line as you look at Bobby Crimmins. Dennis Rodman getting ready to come back into the game. Rodman out of Southeast Oklahoma. And he comes in for John Brownlee.
At the line, number 33, Larry Grostoviak.
6 minutes, 58 seconds remaining. Grostoviak will try again. He has 13 points. Little trouble with his free throw shooting tonight. That one was perfect. And it is 82-64 in favor of the South over the West. South with the ball. Watson. Anthony Watson, his stock has gone up just from his performance in this game. Watson now with 20.
If people question whether he could play ball last night, tonight he's showing everyone that he can really play the game.
Anthony Jones hits.
Anthony Jones.
84-66. Alvin Franklin of Houston trying to get down deep. Franklin will try it, and he'll get it. Foul called. And they may have called it on Dave Feidel of Texas El Paso. They did. So Alvin Franklin, the old adage, if you don't succeed the first time, try again, and he did just that. Fifth foul now on Feidel. Franklin with 7 points. He is 1 for 1 from the line. 1 field goal in the second half, just moments ago. Now is a total of 8, 87-66, 6:18 left. Feidel, Texas El Paso. Perfect. 6:09. Watson. Alley-oop. Baskerville Holmes catches it on the right side of the basket, puts it in from the left. 89-68. Baskerville Holmes now with 12 points. John Sally saves it to Watson.
Great hustle by Sally.
High-stepping ahead of Watson. And Watson takes it in himself. High-stepping ahead of Watson that time was Rodman. Watson didn't get him the ball. Bowie is fouled by Sally. So Anthony Bowie of Oklahoma will be at the line for the West.
Personal foul number 33, John Sally, his fourth.
At this point, I think, Jim, it's pretty safe to say the South has been in control all the way. They will go on and win the ball game. If you're a player on this South squad, now all you want to do is make sure you continue to play very, very good basketball, very good, solid, fundamental basketball, not try and showboat and be too fancy because you don't want your stock to go down. People are looking at you. They've appreciated the team play of the South, and they should just continue to play the way they've been playing tonight. The West, on the other hand, they have to show that they're not quitters and they're going to continue the battle.
89-68, the South will control. Dennis Rodman, Southeast Oklahoma. Franklin gets his own rebound back. Reverse layup doesn't go. Tries a tip in. It doesn't work. And he runs up court rather frustrated by the whole incident. He had 3 distinct chances by himself at that basket. 89-68. Anthony Bowie down the middle, up and in over Sally, and also Rodman. Rodman sitting down again. Rodman smiling as he high steps up court.
And Rodman has fun.
Kristoviak elbows him, and Rodman is hurt. Whistle blows. Official time.
Let's see what happened here. Oh, it's a left hand coming across the face. It was one of those wrestling moves, you know.
It is brutal underneath. I mean, you venture underneath in this tournament with the talent and the determination that is down deep. You take your life in your hand.
Well, that's what John Sally said last night. It's rough under there.
There's the alley-oop. Watson to John Sally. Watson of San Diego State to John Sally of Georgia Tech. They've been working that perfect alley-oop. They finally pull it off. 91-70, 4:34 left, the South. Kristoviak over Rodman. Rodman takes another hit. The ball doesn't drop. Rodman with the rebound. His pass stolen away by Anthony Bowie of Oklahoma. Rodman steals it back. Gets it to Sally. 3-on-1 for the moment. They throw it out of bounds. The West will have it.
And that was a real good pass by John Sally. He looked even his own teammate off. His own teammate wasn't aware the ball was coming that way.
So with 4 minutes and 18 seconds left, timeout has been called. You are watching the 18th annual Aloha Basketball Classic right here on Prime Ticket. Stay with us, everybody. On tonight on Prime Ticket, the championship game of the 18th annual Aloha Basketball Classic, the East against the Midwest. It's just about wrapped up here. The South way out in front of the West, 91-70. Excellent idea by Henderson of Cal State Fullerton. He couldn't pull it off. Watson responds. He goes all the way coast to coast, lays it in. Watson now with 22, 93-70 in favor of the South over the West. Kristoviak. Anthony Jones, UNLV, 6. And the arrow will point to the West.
All right, good call, good call. Play it on the side. Take it on the side.
And the West will get the ball back. And some fans yelling, but Gold shot it. That's a new rule. See, it sticks on the rim. You get it back and get another chance.
No. That's the arrow. Arrow coming into play again. Johnny Rogers against John Sally. Tries to get it to Kristoviak. Ending up with it is Anthony Jones. He blows the stuff. And Rodman high steps again to Watson. He goes to the hoop. Blocked by Rogers. Kristoviak comes down and says, I'll settle this. Takes the ball. Throws it up court. Anthony Jones to the hoop. What a move by Anthony Jones.
Yes, sir. He milked him that time.
Baskerville Holmes one-hands it up from the free throw line. Rodman follows. 95-72 in favor of the South. Rodman now with 16. What a move by Anthony Jones of Nevada, Las Vegas. Kristoviak, Montana. That's perfect. Nothing but net. 95-74 in favor of the South. 16 points now for Kristoviak. This is Anthony Watson. He has 22 points on the game. Baskerville Holmes. Underneath it goes to Alvin Franklin. Loses the ball. And foul has been called.
I think the foul is going to be called Anthony Jones from Nevada, Las Vegas. on that drive, and Franklin was going to the basket. He grabbed him on the wrist.
John Sally goes out. Bobby Cremens talking to John Sally.
John Sally is a real personable guy.
We've not seen Otis Smith in the game in a while. Out of Jacksonville. So he may be done. He may have pulled something, and they don't want to risk it anymore. Henderson, Cal State Fullerton.
Kevin Henderson,
96-76, another 20-point lead by the South. Watson against Henderson. Brownlee of Texas out in front. Baskerville Holmes of Memphis State. Brownlee over Johnny Rogers, too strong off the glass. Watson's putback not good. Finally coming up with the ball is Henderson of Fullerton State. Goes by Watson. Loses the ball, hits the support under the basket. West will still keep it. Fatigue becoming a factor now. They have just fast break throughout this whole game. One continuous fast break.
Hey,
Anthony Jones cannot hold the pass from Custodian.
Excuse me, Jim, but that's something we haven't talked about is the fatigue factor. And a lot of these guys, their seasons ended, you know, a couple weeks, 3-4 weeks ago, and they probably haven't been playing as much basketball. And coming here, practicing for 2 or 3 days, and then playing these tough games, it has to take something out of you.
They have been at full speed, 100% almost all week long. They have worked out at the Iolani School here in Honolulu in front of the professional scouts Monday, Tuesday. Some of the teams worked out on Wednesday. They went to the neighbor islands. One of the games was canceled on Maui. The other was played in Hilo, and that, because of the cancellation, did not count. They then came in to the Blaisdell Arena, and we had 2 games for you on Prime Ticket last night and then the 2 games tonight. Alvin Franklin, 6'2", 175, out of the University of Houston. Puts it up, and it goes for him. 11 points now for Alvin Franklin. 1:42 remaining. South will win this. Claim 3rd place in the tournament. Henderson. Rodman goes down again. Baskerville Holmes, Memphis State. Ball boy still wiping up perspiration. He's got to get out of there. Just makes it. 1:19 left. Anthony Bowie, Oklahoma, from the deep corner. Anthony Jones, UNLV, deals it up. Another great move by Anthony Jones. Jones now with 17. Anthony Watson. Good 24 points now for Anthony Watson. What a game he has played. Less than a minute to play now in the game. 3-point try. Anthony Bowie. Johnny Rogers tries for the rebound. Goes to Rodman. Rodman has the ball stolen by Anthony Bowie. He's all by himself. Oh, yeah.
So showtime. He did hit 2 3-point shots, but he can go in there and jam it.
Oh, yes, he can. That was a free one. 30 seconds left. 102-80, the South over the West. South has dominated almost from the outset of this game. Baskerville Holmes, turnaround jumper left of the lane, does not go. Now there are 19 seconds remaining. 102-80. Anthony Watson is high for the South in scoring, 24 points. John Sally of Georgia Tech with 21. Baskerville Holmes, Memphis State at the line. He has 14. He now has 15, 103-80. For the West, the high point man for the West with 17 is Anthony Jones of UNLV. It's now 104-80 as we play out the final clicks of the clock. 3-pointer by Johnny Rogers. Another rebound by Rodman. He advances it to Holmes, to Anthony Watson, loses the ball, goes to Rodman. His shot doesn't go again. And that'll do it. And everybody in the crowd is starting to gesticulate with their right arm.
I tell you, Rodman, he's created something. Now over in Honolulu, we'll probably find all little kids on playgrounds throwing their right arm up.
That's true. That's true. Dennis Rodman of Southeast Oklahoma State. He has really made a name for himself. And this young man, Anthony Watson, number 15 out of San Diego State, with 24 points, leading all scorers for the South. 106-80 is the final. We'll be back to tell you a little bit about this game and take a look at the scoring. You are watching the Aloha Classic on Prime Ticket.